welcome to NWA Powerrr Season 6 Episode 6 baby. Route 66, baby. Welcome to NWA Powerrr. This is a very interesting show we had. We got a lot of suspense. We got some people getting pissed off, and we find out some people are cousins. Which, if you look on the wiki, it doesn't really say it, at least for the person we will be getting to in a few moments. But I'll say this before we get started. Did I enjoy this NWA Powerrr? Yeah, I did. It had a lot of content in it. Not much wrestling, let's be honest here. There was not that much wrestling. But the content was not bad. There was some good storytelling here. And many people will not like the NWA because it doesn't have a lot of matches. Next to being only an hour long, it doesn't really have a lot of matches. This is more of old school storytelling. If that's what you want, this is what you're going to get. Now, mind you, I do like it when it's time for some good ass wrestling. So let's open up with another semi-final match between the big, strong pals. Why? Why did they come up with that damn name, Big Strong Pals, of Sal Rinauro and the Mims? Why? I don't know. You got the Hawks. And I got to say this about PJ. He's a good wrestler. He is. Now, when it comes to his character, there ain't not much there. His daddy got more character than he does. But he is still very young in the business, so hopefully he will grow into learning how to be able to hold himself, how to be able to do stories, how to make a storyline look well, how to be able to talk a promo, how to be able to get people to be invested in him. That is what I'm hoping for when it comes to PJ. It was a good match. I will say the opening felt a little slow at first. Even for me, it felt a little slow. Now, Mims is not one of the greatest wrestlers, but he's got a lot of character. He will show you when he does his work in the ring. But I felt like there was something a little slow at first. When it changed over to Sal, that's when it became a little more entertaining. Once it went to Luke, PJ's dad, that is when it did pick up. But I will say this. Was it necessary for Sal and Mims to lose? No. I understand when it comes to the Hawk Aviaries. I liked them. But I think Sal and Mims would have been a better choice. This is just my personal feeling. Because Sal is such a charismatic person, even though he's very simple. And you got Mims, who can talk and does have character. I do believe they're a little bit better than the Hawks. They just feel better. And that name, I don't like it, but it goes along with their character. They're two opposites that attract, that work, you care about. I'm moving on. Now, we had the Trevor Murdoch on commentary because Tim Storm was not there. Maybe he had to work at the school. It also goes along with storylines because of what happened last week when they got their asses whooped. And that's him and Nick Aldis. So he was not there and Trevor was, which was fine. Throughout the entire thing, let me give it to you like this. Trevor does not have a voice that resonates, that is impactful, that is charismatic. He's just a middle-of-the-road talker. But it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just that he's a middle-of-the-road talker. He's not a Michael Cole when he's at his hottest. Or Taz. Or even Mauro Ranallo. Considered one of the best talkers. He's not any of them. He's just Trevor that's here. Which is not bad, not good, great, not terrible, not spectacular, just here. It's fine. Now, we got the Pope leaving a message for a Trevor Murdoch, which was a very interesting. You see him in my face, and it says, this is not done. And it is Kyle Davis who says there's no crowds, there's no fans, it's just us in front of the camera. Go ahead, Pope. And he says simple, and now he's in my face. This is not for showing off or any spectacle. This is just me talking. I've known Trevor Murdoch for years. And I'm proud of him for what he does. I'm not going quote per quote, but you get my point. He's proud of him. When he came back after 73, when he won the title, he embraced him and said he was proud of him and he loved him. He hugged his son, well, one of his kids. He hugged him because his son was crying and it was running down his cheeks, Daddy. But he made it very clear, as much as I respect him and I love him, I'm still a competitor. And I got an opportunity for this title. So, when it comes down to it, I will be cashing in when the time's right, but I will be coming at you face to face. Not going to be going behind you. I have no time for that. I'm coming at you face to face. Now, Trevor, after that segment was played, he said, I respect the Pope. He's my friend, but I've known since the day I got this title, I got a mark on my back. I got a basic, just a target. And as much as the Pope is my friend, I got a target on my back. It's good to see that he wants to face me face to face. And when that time comes, I will be ready for him. He made it very clear. I'm glad the Pope did not try to trick him to attack him so he can go after that damn title. Now, mind you, we know the Pope. And Mr. D'Angelo De Niro will do what he needs to do to get a damn title. He will turn dark. He will become the Sith of the NWA. He will go there. Now, mind you, will he go there now? I don't think he needs to. I've been wanting the Pope to go after that world title when it was Nick Aldis. Honestly, you know me. From all the episodes I did before, I truly said, I really want to see Pope go after against Nick Aldis. But since Pope is probably good friends with them both, either one will be fine as long as he's given the fairness. And when they go to the pay-per-view, that's why I believe this is going to happen. That's what I think. I think, when is the pay-per-view? In December or November? I don't know when. But when the pay-per-view does come, it'll be good to see it. I'm not even sure if it's November or December. I'm not sure. I can't remember when they're going to have that next pay-per-view or when they're going to have a special or something. You guys tell me below if there's a special. I believe there's a pay-per-view in December. Now, we had... I'm going to leave this. Let's go to Tyrus versus Clearwater. The second title defense for Tyrus on his trek to try and cash in that title like option C and go after Trevor Murdoch. Now, he was looking at Trevor during the time before he got into the ring, after he got into the ring, and then acted like this was going to be like the end of... Motherfucker, you are not part of the NWO. You're not part of the damn New World Order where there was 3 guys, Scott, Diesel, and a Hulk Hogan, who can get away with shit. They are not the NWO. So when you see this 6-minute run start running down because they kept talking to each other, they kept shaking each other's hands, they kept hugging one another, and I think Clearwater hugged the ref. They're trying to run the time down, at least until like 2 minutes and 30 seconds or 2 minutes 37 seconds when Clearwater finally did fight with a Tyrus, and Tyrus gave him the damn thumb spike and whooped his ass. This was pissing everybody off because they wanted a match. The people in the chase were just angry. And myself, I'm going like, really? You're trying to do the NWO? Are you trying to do the damn Freebirth? Hell, are you trying to do the damn New Day? Trying to pull some fast ones? Really? What made this more interesting, very interesting, was afterward when he started talking to a Kyle Davis. No, not Kyle Davis. Talking to a May Valentine. Because May clearly said, look, I've known you for a bit. I know I've only been in the business 2 years, and it kind of shows because of the way she talks. She really has not grasped what it means to be a commentator or more like an interview yet. She's still very young in the business. She's still learning herself. I really hope that May Valentine really gets better. I hope that because she really doesn't feel it. But I gotta admit this, the very opening when she was talking, I think that was a glimpse of what May Valentine could be. And she said it very clearly. I know I haven't been in the business 2 years, more than just 2 years, but with a segment that you did, and I like you, not the part about her saying, I never thought I like you, but I like you. I know I've only been in the business 2 years. That is the part I did like. I know I've been in business not even more than 2 years, but even I noticed this thing sucked. That little part you saw, that little bit, is what May should be. She should be spontaneous. She shouldn't have to worry so much about being scripted. If she writes down her notes to make sure she remembers what she wants, she needs to throw that shit out and just be that little segment she had, that tiny little bit of just saying, look, I know I've been only for a few years, but even I know that sucked. That was the May Valentine that I hope will develop. But here is where things get interesting. We got Tyra saying, you know what, I want to say something before I do anything. I want to say I am happy for Trevor Murdoch. I'm saying I'm proud of Trevor Murdoch. And when it comes down to it, I am very proud of him, particularly that, I know none of you know this, this is my cousin. What? I had to, when I checked the replay I've been looking at, I had to go onto the wiki and look. And you could see, and I really haven't really checked up on Tyrus's actual name. Look, I love wrestlers, but not all the time I check their real names and the type of things to do unless I really want to do some research. And I didn't realize that Tyrus was called George Murdoch. What? Are you fucking kidding me that he could honestly be Trevor Murdoch's actual cousin? His real cousin. This makes this very interesting, taking away afterward when everyone started cheering for Trevor and pissing off Tyrus and said, you know, I had something to say, but you know what? Forget this. And walks off, pissed off. This will be very interesting. If Trevor is honestly Tyrus's actual cousin, because I didn't check Trevor Murdoch's own wiki, I think he's got one. I haven't checked. But if he really is Tyrus's actual cousin, you got an automatic story there that would actually become something very interesting. Very interesting, even more than the Pope. Because as much as I want to see the Pope get that damn title, and if they are going in the direction I think they're going, where Tyrus, the possible actual cousin of Trevor Murdoch, is booked correctly, because there's no guarantee they will do it right. You could have two cousins going up against each other who no one knew were actual cousins, and no one would expect them to actually face one another in the damn ring, and they actually bring in actual life. Look, guys, not all the time. Like the segment when I talk about Tom Latimer, and I'll get to that next if I don't forget, because I tend to forget when I start thinking about stuff. If you put real life into a real story, it makes it 10 times better. If Trevor starts saying, really, you went there with me, George? And he says, oh, you're using my government name now. Well, you did this with me. If they truly go into their interview with Kyle Davis, or make it even better, Joe Galley, and he does it because he gives a little more action than a Kyle Davis. Joe Galley might be the better person to do the interview between Trevor and Tyrus. And you hear Trevor pretty much say, what do you want? What are you doing? Because he's messing with Trevor now. Let's say in this story, he starts messing with him. And he's going like, what are you doing? Why are you messing with me? You know this is not the right way to go, Liz. And I'm going to go after you, Trevor. This is what Tyrus says. I want that damn title. And he says, I already know that, George. And he says, oh, you're using my damn government name now. He says, well, you wanted to bring family into this, George. Why not? Why not say that you're bringing family into this? That now you're bothering my wife and my son, your cousins, your family. Look, I have no problem dealing with this. I have no problem facing you. But now you're bringing our family into this. You're messing up our family. What are you doing? If it is real. That's if it's real. Now, Tom Latimer, with Camille by his side, showing some lovely cleavage. I think I'll show that shot. I think I got it. See a little bit of Camille cleavage, a little bit of Camille titty. Let's be honest, everybody loves Camille. She's tall, she's beautiful, she's strong enough to break your neck, and strong enough to protect you from someone who wants to break your neck. That's what many men and women like. A big, strong woman that, as long as she understands not to treat you like crap, no matter if you're a man or woman, you'll be happy. But Tom Latimer, having his woman by his side, made it very clear, look, Nick and I, literally, we grew up together. We grew up in the business. We've been friends since we've been teens. We both came up in the business together. And what he said is true. To save 30 quid a day, 30 quid a week, saved enough money to go and train a Harley Races camp. But then it makes it very clear that, guess what I got? 25 quid a week. It's always been about you, Nick. Always been about Nick. And then when I finally managed to come into the States, you're already a world champion. And now you're living at large, and Camille speaking to his ear, having the great suits, having the mansion, having the free meals, having everything you want. And what happened to old Tom? Nothing. I get nothing. And then he doesn't say we get strictly business and you're the top of it and I'm the bottom. Doesn't say that. But he does make it very clear. The reason he did this is because you were weak. You're nothing but a weakling. You're nothing. And now you're home licking your wounds. Why don't you tell your son, sorry that you can't be the man you're supposed to be. Sorry that you're no man at all. Sorry that your uncle beat the crap out of you. But sorry that you lost your best friend. And then they walk off. And then they have a little stare with a little bit of Storm. Now, I could talk about James Storm. I'm not going to. I want to talk about this. Let's make this very clear. Was this a good segment? Yes. Bringing in Tom's son was actually a good point. Making it very interesting because guess what? Nick's son will probably be there at the chase with Mickey. They're there. So it makes it even more interesting because everyone knows Nick Aldis has his son by his side along with his wife. They're together. So that means their son is there. So if you can put 2 to 2 together, it makes it even more interesting. Of course, they're not bringing out their kid, which I do agree. Do not bring out the child. That is not something all the time you should do with children. Like what's going on with -1 on and off. He shows up on Dynamite. Fine. Once in a while. Maybe every 3 or 4 or 5 months. I would rather see him every 5 months that he shows up. But he does on and off every few months or depending on the situation, every few weeks or every few months. I'd rather not see him there because it's not like exploitation of a child, but it's not something you want to expose a child to when he's so young, not even more than 10. It's all right for him to know the wrestling business. It's just not always good to put him in front of the camera. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Now, we got the Mickie James segment when she's talking about how wonderful Powerrr came over, and now William Patrick Corgan has made the decision to make the next, and I believe it's the next week, the next Powerrr into an Powerrr episode. It's going to be all about women. And she was so excited. She was so happy that Billy made the decision to make the next episode an Powerrr episode instead of a Powerrr episode, which is nothing wrong with that. So we're going to have 3 different types of shows on NWA. We're going to have the Powerrr episode. We're going to have Powerrr Surge, which not many people are going to be watching. I don't usually watch it. Sometimes I do, but I don't usually watch it. And then you get Powerrr, which are for the women, which is fine. The women could still be spotlighted on Powerrr, but now they get their own episodes, which they could spotlight themselves and have an entire hour to themselves. Now how do they have it? Powerrr goes on for 3 episodes before Powerrr Surge. So the question is going to be, where does Powerrr fit in? Every 2 episodes? Or maybe Powerrr Surge will go away And then they'll do every 3 episodes of Powerrr, they do an Empowerrr. Because you still got to make sure the men and the women are spotlighted together. Guys, if you think all women every single time will work, it won't, counting on how the booking is, where the venue is, how the storylines go. You have to book it properly. And this is a show that has men and women. So you got to make sure you spotlight what's the strongest thing right now. Maybe they'll split it between 1 episode men, 1 episode women, if the women get more momentum. So Empowerrr right now might be every 3 episodes and takes the position of Power Surge, which I wouldn't mind. Now, this was all about Kiera Hogan, because after she spoke, Kiera came out. She said, look, Mickey, I want to apologize for what happened at 73, that I started getting angry and you didn't approve of my match. I idolize you. I love you. And then Mickey says clearly, look, you don't need to do this. I love you. I've known you since you're 17. I believe Kiera is 25 or 26 right now. I think she might be 26. Yeah, I think she's 26 right now. So she's known her for 9 years. Almost 10. She's known her since she was a teen when she decided to go into wrestling. She said, I love you. There's no way that you have ever disappointed me. Now, then, and I'm going like, why are they going here? Because I even wrote in my notes that no one cares. No one cares about what happened with Kiera Hogan because they never expanded on it. Because at this moment, Mickie James is still dealing with Dana Purrazzo because they haven't gone to Bound for Glory yet. So why would we care? But then once she said, why, if you respect me so much, why don't I have a match on Empowerrr? And then I'm going, okay, this was all just about trying to book Kiera. And I'm going like, all right, so who's going to be the person that's either going to squash her or who's going to put her over? And then once Mickie says, look, I haven't found the right person for you. That's the reason why I haven't said anything. I want to make definitely sure you got the right person. I want to make definitely sure that the person you're going to face will actually be there because I don't want to make promises to you. And she says, wait, why won't you face me? Because I idolize you. I want a match. The reason I came to NWA was because I wanted to face and wrestle you in that ring. I want to face you. It'll be my dream. It'll be me coming full circle. And she says, honey, what are you doing? What are you doing? We don't book like that. You know that. And she's coming in whispering, what are you doing? You know we don't do it like this here in NWA. If you want to talk to me about this, you should have talked to me in the back. And we can get things sorted out there. You know we don't do this in front of the people. What are you doing? And she said, Mickie, are you scared of me? And that's when Mickie didn't go off. She was very restrained and said, what? Are you serious right now? No. And she comes in, you can see the shot. I believe I got the shot of her leaning in next to the mic and Kiera. And she was talking very low. That means she was really pissed off, saying, why are you doing this? You know we don't do that here. You know that. If you want this, you could have called me. You could have came to me in the back. But now, we're going to deal with this now. Come. And she said, all right. And now they're going off. And even Kyle Davis at one point said, you know, this is not what we're supposed to be doing. He says, I know. And Kiera is trying to push it. So, this is what we got. This is exactly what we got. We now have a situation where Kiera is going to possibly face Mickie James, possibly next week, I believe, and Powerrr's next week. So that's what we're going to have. The question is going to be what will happen after that. Because remember, I don't know if they're going to do a storyline with Kiera and Mickie James right now because she still has to deal with Dana Purrazzo on Impact Wrestling. Now, it would make sense to do it because it's not like Deonna Purrazzo is coming to NWA. She's not doing it. It would be nice if she did, but she's not. So maybe they are going to start a feud between them because Mickey's not really doing anything except working an executive producer in the back and also working with Impact Wrestling. It's not benefiting NWA. It ain't. Let's move on. We got, let me see, what else am I forgetting here? Am I forgetting anything? I think I spoke about everything. Let's get to the final match of the night. And that is another qualifying match. It's a semifinal, just like the opening was a semifinal. And I still don't agree with the Hawks going over. This one, I do kind of agree, because it makes it interesting. The End versus Stevens and Kratos. Now, you know what happened the last couple of weeks. Kratos is trying so hard to get Stevens to go, dude, pay attention. Dude, you can do this. You got a fire in your damn belly. Bring that damn thing out. So we have this match. And this is going into the semifinals, going to become the number one contender. And it starts out with an attack by the End. The End beats up on Stevens, who goes into the ring first before Kratos. Kratos gets knocked down outside the ring. And then you have the match. Kratos and it was Petro basically faced one another. And it's like monster versus monster until you hear a really hard whack from Kratos to Petro's chest. He hits him so hard you could hear it. And there was no smack, guys. I looked to see if Petro or Kratos smacked their leg or the side. No, there was not. That was a straight, hard smack to the chest by Kratos, at least from what I can tell. That was very nice. You don't see that often where someone really hits somebody that hard, to be that stiff. It was actually quite nice to see Kratos get that stiff with Petro of the End. So by the end of it, Kratos gets his ass whooped. He finally tags in Stevens, who is chomping at the bit, going back and forth on their apron, and then finally jumps out, goes into the ring, and gets Schoolgirl rolled up. I believe I got that shot. I think I got it. And he's like, and he says, "What the fuck?" And I got that shot. That's in my face. And I'm going, what happened? I just saw someone who, under normal circumstances, if it was Impact Wrestling, if it was WWE, would have won that moment, would have won the fans. But here, he actually got his ass beat and rolled up, for that matter. Here it is again, if I got it. I'm like, really? This is interesting. Kratos, after it was over, just before the credits, starts shoving him, and he's just pissed. Kratos is pissed. Where is this going? I don't know. Are they finally breaking them up, or are they trying to make this something interesting for the next Power episode where something snaps in Aaron Stevens? My hope is that he has a singles match. Kratos is at ringside. He's getting his butt whooped, and he gets so fed up with it and so angry he snaps in the ring and he starts whooping total ass. That is where it would make sense. Or they may finally be breaking them up. And this is just a build up until then. I don't know. But I can tell you this was an interesting episode. They have put a lot of character development out there. They have put a lot of build up there. Hell, Ion was talked about by by Tyrus, who is possibly the cousin of Trevor Murdoch, maybe. But I hope you enjoyed this NWA episode, Season 6, Episode 6. Give me a comment below. Give me a like. Tell someone to take a look. I don't know. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.